what's interesting to me is, how do you put this? We built value, but I don't really feel like we sold it. It kind of sounded like we were just, okay, I have to say this part.
Yeah.
What I want to hear when I build value is I want to hear passion.
Yeah.
Maybe passion's not the right word, but I want to hear conviction at least. You ever heard Nike? Anybody know who Nike, the shoe company, the sports brand?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Just do
You're
it.
like, yeah, only since I was born. Okay. So this is a book I highly recommend. This is one of the best. This is probably the best book I have ever read. I read a lot of books. You can see part of my book collection here. I've got my current stack that I'm working on right here. Okay. I love my books. But Shoe Dog, best book I have ever read from start to finish. Word for word value. And one of the things that Phil Knight, he wrote Shoe Dog, and he's the founder of Nike. He tells a story in this book about sales, basically. In the beginning of his career, he lived in Hawaii, and he went and knocked on doors to sell encyclopedias. And he was horrible at it. He was a terrible salesman of encyclopedias. People slammed the door on his face. They said no. He had no success with it. So he left and moved on. But later on, when he started Nike, which at the time only sold shoes to athletes, he could sell shoes better than anyone. I mean, he sold these things like hotcakes. It was amazing. Now, before I go any further, why do you think that is? How is it that he could be so bad at selling encyclopedias, but so good at selling shoes?
He probably didn't really care about the encyclopedias.
His,
Yeah.
his passion was shoes.
Let me read you the direct quote from Phil Knight himself. Let me pull up a document where I've got it written down. This quote is good enough that I do not want to mess it up. Phil Knight says, there we are. He said, I believed in running. I believed that if people got out and ran a few miles every day, the world would be a better place. And I believed these shoes were better to run in. People, sensing my belief, wanted some of that belief for themselves. Belief, I decided, belief is irresistible.
Mm.
When you build value, you could say the right things. You could communicate to the customer that this is how we work. We send out a licensed technician with a fully stocked truck. He's got shoe covers on. He's got all the parts and tools he needs to get started. Right? You could go through and recite your value statement. But if there's no belief in it, right? If you don't actually think that we're the best people for the job, because people can hear that in your tone of voice,
Mm-hmm.
then it's not going to get you as far as you want it to go, right? It's still better than what most CSRs do, which is nothing. Most CSRs simply say, and it's going to be $49 for us to come out. And they leave it at that. And the customer's thinking, $49 for you to come out? I'll pick the guy up myself. I'm not paying money for somebody to come drive to my house.
Yeah.
So it's better than that. But if you really want to sell it, if you really want people to say, you know what, I'll pay $49 for you guys to come do an inspection. You can't just have the right words. You've got to have the right tone. You've got to have the right level of conviction.